Hi guys, and welcome back to the final part in this series where we search for Def Leppard's greatest ever song. And we're finally at number one. Leigh Spencer from Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. What have you got for your number one in our search?
I did say that I really do find it hard I think it's because they're so different to say that High and Dry or Pyromania, the albums, you know? And I think it's because they're so different. You almost can't compare them, do you? It's almost like it's not two different bands, but it's almost like there's such a difference. It's strange. But I've gone with a song off of Pyromania because I think that is, like I said before, where I think they perfected this melodic hard rock edge that I think that was the album. The songwriting was perfect. I'm going for a song that, yeah, it's just epic. You could say another ballad with teeth, I suppose. And it's Fooling.
Oh,
Yeah, this is just a masterclass in songwriting, in my opinion. I think it sums up them on the album. You know, just the writing was just so much steps ahead of anyone. Powerful, dynamic, and ahead of their time. Like I've said quite a few times on this show. Cowbell again, by the way. They weren't ashamed of a bit of cowbell back then. I tell you, they loved it. The way they go from, light and shade on this, the way they go to these really melodic parts, and then it gets heavy. It's just an amazing song. And look, said it many times, and I know they're a different band now, but no one could touch them at this time. They were miles ahead in this sort of music. And people tried to emulate it. They just couldn't reach the heights of that. And I know I made a bit of a joke about this offline, but this was what the band were like back then. And then we get they bring a song out now, like on their last album, where they have the guitar turned up, and as the Joker said in the Batman, in the Dark Knight, everyone loses their mind. It's like that's how it is. They turn the guitar up and play a riff, and everyone loses their mind. But just not forget how good they were. But no, Fooling is it's just brilliant.
Leigh, fantastic top five there. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.
Right.
Great stuff. Love it. Mark Cloer, we've got there. What's your number one?
No, this one there was never a question as to what my number one's going to be, because this is my all-time favorite Def Leppard song. No questions asked, no doubt in my mind. Leigh's already mentioned this one. Mirror Mirror gives me chills to this day. That opening riff, is just got to be one of the most ear-catching riffs ever recorded. People talk about how great, and I'm not throwing any shade on Phil Collins and Vivian Campbell. I mean, they're a phenomenal guitar duo, but I'll take Steve Clark and Pete Willis any day as far as just balls to the wall, metal, hard rock guitarist. I think, honestly, and I don't mean this the way it sounds, but I think Leppard got a musical vasectomy after Pete Willis left the band. There are three great tragedies in the history of Def Leppard. The worst tragedy, obviously, was the death of Steve Clark, which I vividly remember the day I saw it on MTV. I actually shed tears. I think there's only been two musicians that have died that have brought tears to my eyes. Steve Clark was the first. Ronnie James Dio was the second.
Yeah.
When I heard he had passed, that just blew my mind. He was just so talented, just a powerful player that never really got the recognition he deserved. The second great tragedy, obviously, was Rick Allen losing his arm. But the third great tragedy was Pete Willis basically faded away after he was booted from Def Leppard. He had a couple of attempts at comebacks. He did a 3-song EP with a kind of a super group that actually included Paul Deanna. that never got off the ground. And then he had a band called Roadhouse that early 90s, but it never went anywhere. That's a great tragedy that somebody with his talent just basically, faded away into the history books. But that combination of Clark and Willis on those first two albums and even into the third, Phil was brought in to do some solos on Pyromania, but Pete was still very prevalent on Pyromania.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Loving the choice, though, Mark. As always, you really bring the rock to this channel, so I appreciate it. Good stuff. Another great 5 choices. Thanks a million for that. Look, for number 1 for me, it's When Love and Hate Collide from 1995. Now, look, yes, they were battling grunge at this point, trying to find their place in the changing rock landscape, the changing musical landscape. I mean, the way they're clothing in the music video, there's no more. Like, this t-shirt is gone. They're in just plain black clothes. The hair's cut. If you look at Joe, even his hair is kind of like the way Kurt Cobain wore his hair in the music video. The music video was shot in that 90s kind of way, kind of through a lens of, it's a bit hazy and it's quick cuts and quick edits and all that kind of stuff. It's just Def Leppard trying to find their place in the 90s. But man, I just love When Love and Hate Collide. It's this song is what puts the power into power ballad for me. I love it. But I was 13 years old when this came out and starting to get the feelings for girls. I couldn't explain what was happening to me, but it was happening. And you were at discos, and this would be the slow dance song. It would be the song out at the time. So just, you'd be going up asking a girl to dance, and here's Def Leppard. When Love and Hate Collide. What a power ballad. And it was a hit for them in a time where these kind of bands, to be fair, weren't making hits. I think that's fair to say. That's why I say it was a change in rock landscape, a change in musical landscape. Bands like Def Leppard were seen as dinosaurs at this point. Back in the 80s, again, rightly or wrongly lumped into a hair metal scene. So their image changed here. Their music changed a bit. But for me, it's such an iconic ballad. It's up there with Foreigner's. With Foreigner's big ballads, they had 2 big ballads in the 80s. It's right up there with them songs. But yeah, When Love and Hate Collide, I love it. I'd be very, very interested to get a brief what you guys think of this song, because I'm waiting for you guys to shred it. So, and you know what? Do it. We're all brothers here. We're friends. Give me the slagging. Listen, that's my number 1.
There's no doubt about it. They know how to write a ballad. And all the way back from Bringing on the Heartbreak, but maybe they can't write a good one now.
Yeah.
But they definitely, that sounded like it could have been from Hysteria. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of period. So, like you said, they had some balls to write it. I actually like that song as well.
You surprised me then. Okay.
I do. You know what I mean? I don't love it, but I like it. And compared to some of the shit that we hear across the radio stations now, give me that anytime. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather hear that, to tell you the truth, than Hysteria, because of the amount of times I've heard Hysteria. So,
right.
You give me that song anytime, and I'd enjoy that more than I would off anything of Hysteria. But no, a really great written ballad and doing its job for sure. Do you know what I mean?
Mark, any memories of that one from the 90s?
Yeah.
And again, you can rip me apart if you want. That's okay.
No, it's a good song. I mean, we all love ballads. I mean, we've made no secret of that.
We've made videos on ballads.
Yeah, our first meeting was between 3 of us was on ballads. We did a whole I don't even remember how many we did. We did 5 or 6 shows on those.
Loads of them on Leigh's channel, yeah.
Yeah, but I always loved a ballad, and that was one of their better ones. Which album was that from?
I don't think it was on an album. I could be wrong. Because it wasn't Adrenalize. It was what did they have out in 95? I could be totally wrong.
It might have been on the Retroactive. That came out in 93, so I don't remember. I mean, I've got it. I haven't listened to most of those later albums in a long time, but I vividly remember the video like you're talking about. It did have some radio play, and they still play it live. I mean, I think I've seen Leppard 6 or 7 times over the years, and
Yeah.
Last time I saw them was with Journey, and I think it was 18, and they played. I know they played it then. I vividly remember. Yeah,
That's cool.
One of their better ballads. Yeah.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Good stuff. No, I love it. I'm going to have to listen to it now while I cut the grass. Guys, appreciate it. It's only been a couple of months since we did our journey one, so I appreciate you coming back on to do this series with me. It's been, a 5-parter. It's been fun. Really enjoyed it. So no, I really appreciate you guys coming on. You know that. I love you guys. I tell you this all the time, on and off air. I love you guys. So really appreciate hanging out with you. So thank you.
Back at you.
Yeah, and take it easy on me, guys. In the comments below. Just I'm old. What do you expect?
Yeah, you know what? If you want to comment on any of Leigh's Leigh's opinions, go up to Leigh's channel and give some comments over there and boost his algorithm. Because he deserves it. He's I said up front, he's the best rock and reactions and interviews and all sorts going on over his channel. So subscribe to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews, guys. Again, I appreciate it. And to everyone watching, that's our 5 choices each. What's your choices? Comment below and let us know, and we'll see what next series we come up with. Thanks a million. Take care.
Cheers, guys.